What's up? I got an idea. When your children get old enough to dress themselves and groom themselves, they learn how to brush their teeth, comb their hair, and stuff like that. Usually, children will have siblings in close proximity sometimes. But whatever. When they get to that point where they can dress themselves and groom themselves, brush their own teeth, stuff like that, I would suggest you to buy them a mirror. Buy them a mirror that is big enough for them to see their whole body. That way they will be able to see what the world sees when they look at themselves. They will have the opportunity to embrace who they are physically, and they would know what the world sees. You can coach them in this. That's why I say that parenting is a around the clock type of job, because our children are entitled to us. Not entitled to us, they are entrusted to us. Children feel like they have the right to ignore you as a parent, and they'll tell their best friend everything. They'll tell that teacher everything. But if they don't tell them everything, they'll tell them more than they're telling you. You cannot afford to have a relationship like that with your child. You and your spouse should be dedicated to raising a family, and you guys can make it as easy as possible, but y'all don't believe that y'all can. Because you feel like now parents feel like they can't make up their own rules. Some parents feel like they can't, we can't do this because nobody else is doing this, or society says this is weird. Man, who gives a fuck what society says? That's the reason why some of the children are in this position that they're in now. You have to take life by the balls and say, this is what we're going to do. As husband and wife and husband, y'all are a team, and y'all are responsible for those children. When that child can wake up in the morning and look in that mirror and get dressed and start their day for school, they can build confidence, a level of confidence that can't be broken, a level of confidence that cannot be broken. And I'm telling you, it is worth it for you to help your child build that level of confidence to go out into the world and believe that they are beautiful, believe that they could be what they want to be, believe that they are who they think they are, on a positive note. And let's not get stupid. You know what I'm talking about. But most of all, you want to help them be aware of themselves. You want to help them be aware of themselves. Because nobody else is, you don't want nobody at school doing it. You don't want social media doing it, because they're going to screw it up. We all know most of that stuff is just smoke and mirrors. No pun intended. When your child can look in the mirror and say, although I don't have the best, I am still beautiful. I am still handsome. I am still good looking. If you buy your daughter a vanity, they can look at themselves in the mirror and examine themselves and really look at themselves and say, oh, I can be this, or I can be that, or I'm beautiful, I'm this. They get a chance to reflect. Now, it could be a negative thing. Somebody might have said something in school, and then they bring it home. They're all hurt and stuff. They're looking at themselves in the mirror and they're not liking what they see. You have to check with that child every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. Your child is literally your life patient. And you have to help that child through life. It's just like if you ever been in the hospital. When I was in the hospital, and every 12 hours, a nurse come in, knock on the door. Are you doing okay? Just checking up on you. She take my vitals. She took my blood pressure and stuff. Then she gave me medicine. She gave me a shot. We have to be just that attentive to our children and immediate family members that live in the same house. But some of us, man, I got a game. I got to watch the news. I got to watch my movie. No, you can take time out and do that, because it ain't got to be every 12 hours. You check with them as soon as you get home. You check with them before you leave. You make a phone call while you're at work. You can do that. But people make up excuses not to do it. I've done it. Trust me. You owe it to the child to raise them up, to monitor them, to shadow them, whatever they're doing, whatever they're going through. on a day-to-day basis. That is your child. If you was there, if you did it for the first 5 years of their life, you could do it for the next 13 and beyond. Don't act like just because they start walking and talking that your job is easier. There's a lot of stuff out there when they get to thinking for themselves and making their own decisions and saying, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway. Then you're going to feel helpless. Then you want to start bogarting and deboing shit. It doesn't work that way. Then they're going to really rebel against you. But listen, try getting them a mirror. You know, especially if they into fashion. You feel me? So they can look at themselves and learn who they want to be, especially early years in school. You know, it might help a little bit. It should help a little bit, as long as y'all are doing y'all job as parents. All right? Peace.